contour along the jawline, chin first, of course. This is kind of cool when you get to cast one side of the face and he's got like some weird eye and then it gets to stand out. Put in some eyebrow, black it in, black, 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 black. Sculpt the teeth a little. Now, if you want to make too many teeth, because we don't have that many unless we are kind of physical anomaly. Now, since this is as close as it is, I'm drawing a reasonable amount of teeth here, separated, you know, obviously. Some gum. You want to keep them fairly normal looking, in line. I don't always draw perfect teeth on my characters. Shot as far away as this one or up here. I'm not going to bother with teeth. They would just, they're too small to actually see in real life. It's a small detail that's not necessary to dwell on. On the eye, you have a choice. It's not unusual for me to put lashes and some detail on an eye if it's close enough. I'm not above giving men eyelashes because they do have them. They certainly don't have to be overly exaggerated, but don't be shy about giving them. It makes perfect sense. How you conduct the lines in the face. I'm going to give this guy, I'm giving him a bit of a snarl. I'm going to put the lines up belong. Just going to crinkle up his nose. Some of the lines here. His brow. Trying to make him look angry. Now, depending on the character, of course, depends on just how much you're going to put in. Is he really rugged? Is he absolutely clean cut? Is he old? Is he young? So within male characters, you can get away with a lot more than you can with the female characters, considerably more. And to me personally, I enjoy texture in the face. If I can get away with it, I'll put it in. I don't want to get too carried away with how much shading. It depends on the artist, but I want these stronger lines to provide most of the information and put a little bit of extra spin on some of the other lines. Now, when you're arranging your cross-hatching, there's a couple of ways that you can approach it, and that is directionally along the curve of the line. It's not the only way. I like to use, for example, this isn't cross-hatching, but I'll draw parallel lines, then slightly skew them off, create an effect. For example, you can see two right here, maybe two right here, a little bit different line quality. Then here I used lines going both of the directions for the nose, some going down. I don't want to do too much of that. I don't want to sculpt like a ball out of it. I'll draw a lot of duplicate lines this way. They just shadow each other. It's just maybe it's the expression of my style, but they come up. When you're doing the directional lines, for example, right here along the bags of his eyes, I got them pretty deep here. I'm drawing them directly out. But on the other hand, I'll also have just these lines here to add a little weight to underneath the eye. And then over here, let's say, draw a couple of lines, maybe a little zipper line. I call them zipper lines when you do them. I don't use them too often, but it's a line. You just do a little something along the edge. Just adds a little bit more to the line than there was there before. You got to know when to quit though. You know, like with a face like this. I added a little something here. I don't know. It just popped out at me. A little bit over here. You'll notice a lot of times I'll use a line where I'll, at these intersections like here, I'll take two this way, two this way. It's just, why I do that? Your guess is as good as mine. It's just a stylization of line work that I have. No other excuse for it. It's just something that's developed out of how I do things. You're trying to finesse lines, and that's something that comes with experiences. That's what your style develops out of. It's how you do these things. Let's pull a little bit. You don't want to get too carried away with the forehead, but we'll put a little something up here to provide a little shape. And that's part of being an artist. Sometimes you can't explain what it is that you're doing. For that matter, maybe somebody else can explain it. You can't always. Just give him an eye, two blank eyes. An eye just looking right over his brow. Tendons in his neck standing out. Everybody loves neck tendons. The same feathering. Really here I'm as much just filling in space as anything that makes sense. But this is the focus of our character. Check it with my mirror and see if anything just jumps out at me. Not at the moment. Our page is basically complete. We're going to design a couple of elements. We're going to design a costume for our superhero man. We're going to do a basic power guy torso shot. Now this is something that everyone needs to know about comics and about how to draw muscle guys. One thing is, parts of the body are integrated, including the muscles of the deltoids and the chest. They're all designed to work together. A lot of artists, especially starting out, tend to draw things in a very separated manner. They separate the delts from their pecs, from their everything. Sometimes creates a very funny image. I'll show you what I mean. First we'll draw a relatively acceptable, natural looking big muscle guy. Thin waist, big shoulders, muscular arms. Arms on superheroes tend to be a little longer than the average. You know, more like a basketball player muscles. Here you kind of notice everything kind of sweeps together. You have nice tie-ins where the biceps might come into the forearm. Here the pec tie-in, deltoids, front deltoids, they go in and they attach in front of the top of the pectoral. Just put a superhero head on him. Yes, I am a superhero. I seem to have him a little bit sideways. Being left-handed, it's not unusual for me to pull things to the left. That's another reason why I use a mirror quite a bit, to make sure that I don't do that. It's just a habit. Now here, on the other hand, common mistakes made. Drawing superheroes. Cap-like shoulders. Almost as if they've come off of an action figure. Biceps that are extremely round, and in fact they're much more like tubes attached to forearms that are kind of long and stringy, lots of muscles on them. And then the waist just comes in like this. Very little consideration for the rib cage. Big flat pectorals. Tiny, small nose. This is the part that gets me though. It's the way they attach the shoulders. There are better ways to do it. Extra abs. For some, there can never be too many abdominal muscles. See, we could improve this guy. Instead of having the shoulders lopped off, integrate them into the body properly. Now sure, it's okay to have big biceps. Our biceps are rarely just big round. Smooth them out a little bit. Make some sense out of these forearm muscles. We'll throw a vein in here. Some people are really anti-vein. Just because they're hard to figure out how to do properly. And let's just cut down the amount of abs. We'll keep the head small. Looks all right. Not gonna worry about hands. All right, I like that one better. Okay, let's design a quick costume for this character. Let's see, we gave him the eye. We want him to have hair. Very little. Since this is the only really solid shot we're gonna see, Let's give him something. Let's put a circle right here. This is costume design. Things don't have to make any real sense. Maybe this guy's name is Electronic Man. Let's see. He's wearing a suit that comes up to his neck. Bit of hair. Let's say on this suit, gloves. And let's put a circle on each shoulder. Connects here. Down the arm. Yeah, we got a superhero costume. It's pretty easy. It'll stand the test of time? I don't think so. But we'll do right now. Should costumes always be functional? I don't know. Superheroes are rarely functional. Just happen to have them. This is pretty neat. I'm glad it showed up on my own video. Circle Eye. Super duper powerful Electronic Man. Give him some stripes on his gloves to go with the stripe along the side. Voila! Put the Sharpie away. Alright, let's finish the page. Alright, here's our character, Super Electronic Man. All we're gonna do is stick this costume on him, which should be a piece of cake compared to the rest of it. All you're really doing here is filling in the rest of the line. At the very least, you should have the lines that are a part of the costume follow the muscles themselves. It doesn't make any sense just to draw them straight across. You want it to appear like it has some form to it. Almost done. And costumes are a big part of superheroes. I personally gravitate towards the simpler costumes. What is the real purpose of Super Electronic Man? I'm not really sure. Only our editor knows for positive, and he's not telling us. It's not long now. Just powering up here. I could draw a contrail as he goes streaking through the sky, but I think this is good enough. As far as any details here, let's see. Notice that when I'm doing this, I'm moving this around the veins and the tendons bulging in his neck. Gives it a cooler feel that way. Draw that circle. Here's an example of my elliptical work. And most likely Tom will straighten it out. And honestly, I couldn't possibly have selected an ellipse as fast as I could draw one like that. Flip the artwork around quite a bit because I tend to pull these lines better than I tend to push them. Clean it up a little bit. So that's where they stick in the extension cord. All right, finished. Now some of this might look pretty rough and some of it might look very finished. But the truth is that, like I said before, I see no point in pouring over every single little tiny detail if Tom is going to go over it with a pen, ink, brush, etc., whatever he uses. He's an artist and he has the ability to look at this art and decide with his own eye what is necessary. You can certainly determine line weight, line thickness, but it always looks great. I hope you enjoyed this instructional video, and honestly, there's so much more to doing this. It's hard to encapsulate it in one video. From deadlines to learning some superhero environment that has tons of characters and lots of details, but it's a fun business. I do admit that. I've never regretted my decision to be a part of it. Met great people, made some really good friends. To tell you the truth, I hope to continue on doing it for roughly the next 20 years. If I'm not done by then, somebody shoot me. Just kidding. What other words of wisdom and advice could I give aspiring comic book artists? Honestly, draw. You have to draw a lot. Part of becoming good at this is sheer volume of drawing. If you've only done a few pages and you filled some sketchbooks with primarily pinups, it's not going to do it. But if you truly think that you have it and you want to do it, you really have to draw an extraordinary amount to be any good at this. It's a very rare individual that can just sit down and start hammering out great comic book artwork. It's not just about drawing, it's about storytelling, and that is an entirely unique aspect of comics. You know, here we did a 3-panel page, we moved the eye around, you know, we told a portion of a story, but it's telling 22 pages plus month after month, and refining the storytelling technique, you know, without losing your mind doing it. What you're doing is you're entertaining people. You're taking sometimes, you know, well-established characters that have a great history, and you're doing everything you can to add to that history on your own. You don't want to embarrass yourself, you want to contribute, and to do that requires a lot of work. You know, don't just look at the artwork for its beauty, but look at it for what it's doing for the story. If you want to be any good at it, you truly have to spend the time developing this craft, because it is a craft. You're going to have to deal with editors, you're going to have to deal with people who have an opinion of your work that maybe you don't share. And it's best to be open to suggestion. Now, if you can sit down, if you can look at your work honestly, and you can say, you know, I think I do have what it takes. You know, then you have to take it to the next step. You know, you have to spend a lot of time drawing and making contacts in the business, getting to know people through whatever channel that you have available. For a lot, it's going to conventions, you know, being humble. You know, do not think that you are the best thing that's walked in front of any editor, because chances are you're not. Drawing what you enjoy is the easy part. There's so much more to it. Month in, month out, day after day, hitting deadlines. That in itself is a totally different thing from drawing. And I think that that's something that other people want to get into it haven't really discovered yet. It has the potential to be a labor of love, but it is also a business, and you have to treat it like a business. You know, don't get ahead of yourself, and listen to those who truly would know. Be receptive to advice from the right people. That doesn't include your mother, because chances are she doesn't know. Generally, the people that pursue this business are people who really love it, and they often don't like to be told that they don't have what it takes. Then, hey, keep at it. I suppose I better give Tom a call and let him know I gotta get on the road and get this to him. That is if I quit messing around with it. It's done. Hey Tom. Yep, just got it done. Yeah, I know it's late and you have a daunting task ahead of you, but I know that you can get it done. You've certainly been up against the wire often enough. Yeah. How are the girls? Oh yeah? Huh. Looking good? All right. Where do you want to meet? Okay, I can be there in a little bit. Just give me a few minutes to pull things together. All right, I'll see you in a little while. Yep, bye. On my way.
Hi, my name is Tom Nguyen, and I am here to instruct the viewers on how to ink a complete page in the comic book style. And I will show you my method of doing it with my preferred tools. I like to do the blacks first, and it serves as a warm-up. I like the brush simply because I have the most control with it. I can get an infinite variety of lines and shapes. Don't focus so much on the point of the brush. The trick is to lay down the ink at a beginning point and then look at your target where you're trying to drag the brush to and just go there.
That's right, Tom!
Let's just do a generic blood splatter. Somebody is getting blown up. Dab the bristles into the ink like so. I'm going to flick the board against the bristles of the brush. So you're just adding splatter all over. You can do this as much as you want until you get as much splatter as you want.
And look at you. You got muscles, you're built, you must work out all the time. You're a good looking young man. You must have groupies like crazy at shows and conventions.
Oh, please. No. I mean, I work out regularly, but I mean, I think you're exaggerating a bit.